Hi all, welcome back to Coding World. Today in this video, we are going to learn about one of the most important concept of the system design, which is a rate limiter. So in this video, I will explain you what is rate limiter, how to implement rate limiter, and algorithms for the rate limiter, and how we implement that. Okay, so stay tuned to the last. And so let's start with the high level designing of the rate limiter. If you see in a first diagram, it is a only one system, like it is a non-distributed system. You have one client and one server. So you are sending requests to the your server, and it is response to the your request. And in this, you know about the what was the your last request. So you are keeping the state of the your request. So in that case, we can use a rate limiter at the server itself. You can create one library, or you can create one service at the server side, and which will be a when request will come to the your server, it will be passed to the rate limiter also, and according to that it will be fulfilled. But if you see in a second uh, diagram, which tells that there in between your client and server there is one middleware, and which work as a rate limiter. So this is a distributed system where your servers are distributed across your region, and there is no single point. Uh, there is no directly request sent to the your particular server. So yeah, so how, like we will see in the next few slides about the how we handle these types of scenario. So let's move to the how rate limiter works. So if you see in this diagram, so we have some limitation, that you can send 2 requests, 5 requests within a second or within a minute, and after that if your new request comes, then you will drop that request, or you will throttle that request. You will send back the result as a 4 to 9, which is a throttle. Now this is a simple design or idea about the rate limiter, but how to implement this rate limiter, we will see in next few slides what are the algorithms to design rate limit. Okay, so let's jump to the next slide, which tells about the algorithms of the rate limit. So algorithms for rate limiting, which is there are 5 algorithms mostly we use for the rate limitation. One is a token bucket, leaking bucket, fixed window counter, sliding window log, and sliding window counter. So these are the majorly 5 algorithms which use for the rate limitation. We will see all of these algorithms one by one. So in the next slide, we will look into the token bucket algorithm. So if you see token bucket, name itself says that there is a bucket which holds the tokens. Okay, and when your bucket gets full, when your bucket get full or empty, that time we will not allow to process your next request. So in this diagram, you will see 2 entities. One is a filler, one is a bucket. So filler, what filler does, it with a specific time or period, it will fill that bucket with the some amount of tokens. In this diagram, we have bucket which has a 4 token capacity, and the filler is a like a which periodically you can consider 2 seconds or 1 minute. After that period, with it is filling bucket with the 2 tokens. Okay, so let's see how this we use for the rate limitation. Yeah, if you see this in this diagram, there are a request which we can consider as a client, and there is a server. So going your request to the server, it will hit your rate limitation service, which will check that is tokens are enough. If tokens are enough, you will assign one token for your request, and that request will be forwarded to the your server. That means your request will get fulfilled. If tokens are not enough, means like if buckets has been empty, that means your tokens has been finished, or you can, if your bucket tokens has been allocated all, that means there is no empty token. That means your request will be dropped and it will send it to your client as a 429, which is a request has been throttle. Let's see one example for this, and it will give a clear cut idea about the token bucket. Okay, so here is a one scenario. There are 4 tokens, and those 4 tokens will be available for the 1 minute. Okay, so if you see that in first diagram, at the initial period 0 0 second, we have 4 tokens. So when request will comes, we will allocate 1 tokens to that request. Now remaining, we have remained 3 tokens, and at the 5th seconds we get 3 requests, and all those will be fulfilled because we have 3 tokens remaining. Okay, now when you come to your third scenario where request has been come but we don't have tokens, in that case your request will be terminated, or it will be sending to 429 to client. That means we have not processed. And in fourth diagram, you can see that at the new time interval, like next 1 minute, all our filler has been filled our bucket with new 4 tokens, and it will continue your request serving. So from this diagram, what we can understand, with the token bucket, we are allowing fulfill those many requests within some particular time. Like if you have a token bucket of 4 tokens, that means within a 1 minute or within 1 second you are allowing to process only 4 requests. This is a simple algorithms, and many companies, most of people use the token bucket in a rate limiting strategy. Okay, so there are different token bucket for your each API. Like if you consider Facebook, then there will be 3 types of token. There will be more than this, but I'm considering this 3 difference, like 1 post per second, 150 friends per day, 5 posts per second. These are the token bucket scenarios. Okay, so yeah, that's it about the token bucket. So let's move to our next algorithm, which is a leaking bucket algorithm. So in leaking bucket algorithm, it's similar to the token bucket, but it's process all the requests after specific time. Okay, at a fixed rate. So if you see the diagram, which tells that you send the request and it will get into the queue unless and until the queue get full. If queue get full, your request will be dropped out. That means it will get throttled. Now once that fixed time has been occurred, that time all the requests will be processed and your queue will be empty. Now again, whenever new requests come, it will be put into your queue. This is a simple scenario and a simple algorithm which you can implement with a leaking bucket algorithm. We have some examples like a Shopify, which is an e-commerce company, uses leaky bucket for rate limiting. Okay, so we will see pros and cons for the leaking bucket algorithm. So pros are like memory efficient given limited queue size, because we have given queue of size is limited for, like, if according to your need. Requests are processed at a fixed rate, therefore it is suitable for use cases that a stable outflow rate is needed. Okay, these are the pros. And cons, what are the cons? a burst of traffic fills up the queue with old requests, and if they are not processed in time, recent request will be rate limited. Yeah, there are two parameters in this algorithms which are easy to tune them properly. It because it might not be easy to tune them properly. Okay, these are the pros and cons for the leaking bucket. So if you see that in this leaky bucket we have some problems, like if all request has come at the your end and starting position, so in that particular time frame we can process multiple requests as of multiple requests than your frame. So I will show you one diagram which will tells you the what the issues are there. Okay, so okay, so that I will explain you later. But let's move to our next algorithm, which is a fixed window counter algorithm. This algorithm is like the algorithm divides the timeline into fixed size time window and assign a counter for each window. Each request increment the counter by 1, and once the counter reaches the predefined threshold, new requests are dropped until a new time window start. Okay, so this is a like a, if you see the image, for every minute or for every second you have a 3 requests. Okay, you can process, so you have a limit or you have fixed size of a 3. So if in that minute if you get the request more than your limit, then those will be dropped out. Okay, in this algorithm, in this image you can see that within 1 second you can able to process only 3 requests. If you see here, you got the 6 request but you are able to process the 3 requests, so remaining 3 will be dropped out. Okay, so fixed window counter algorithm has their own pros and cons, which is it is a memory efficient, easy to understand, resetting available quota at the end of unit time window fits certain use cases. Cons: spike in traffic at the edge of the window would cause more requests than the allowed quota to go through that. Yeah, that I will explain you with the image. In that case you will able to understand what the issue is that. Okay, okay, so this is a problem which we occurred with a fixed window counter algorithm. See, in this algorithm we have a time frame of the 1 minute, but if you see in 1 minute, in last 30 second and in the first 30 second of next window we got a multiple request. Like if we have a goal of achieving a processing 5 requests within a 1 minute, but if you see that in that between portion, in this portion you are processing 10 requests, and which is violating your assumption that you are processing 5 requests per minute. So to solve this problem we have another our next algorithm, which is a sliding window algorithm. So sliding window algorithm keeps track of request timestamp. Timestamp data is usually kept in cache such as a sorted set of redis. When a new request comes in, remove all the outdated timestamp. Outdated timestamps are defined as those older than the start of the current window. Add timestamp of the new request to the log. If the log size is same or lower than allowed count, a request is accepted, otherwise it will be rejected. Yeah, that I will explain with your example. If you see in this example, you have a 2 requests per minute. Okay, we have scenarios like a 2 requests per minute. So in this, what we are doing, we are storing timestamp of your request. Whenever request comes, we will store the timestamp of your request in our log file or somewhere, or you can keep it in Redis also. So if you see that in our, when at the initial condition, when we get the request as the first second, so that request will be processed because you are allowing 2 requests winner per minute. So when next request comes, which is a like a 30 minute, and when we put that request in our, we will check that our log limit is still in that range or not. Like if that there should be a only two logs will be there, so we will are in that range. And the difference between first log and last log is a 1 minute, so that request will get processed. When your next request comes, which in that we will check that our log file is a 2 or less than 2. If you see that it is exceeding that, that means you will drop that request, you will not process that request. And next scenario, if you see that request comes as 1 minute 40 seconds, in this scenario you can see that your last request was 50 seconds, okay, 1 minute or 1 hour 50 seconds. Then your next request comes as a 1 minute 40 seconds. That means the difference between these two logs are 1 minute, okay, less than 1 minute or 1 minute. All the logs which are exceeding 1 minute time frame, those will be removed from the your log. So that's why only two logs will be stored in your file, and that fulfill your condition also. So this is a sliding window algorithms, and we have seen that in this approach we can able to solve the fixed window algorithms issue also, because in that we in middle between two time frame we was processing more requests than our goal. That can be solved with this sliding window algorithms. So it has also some pros and cons, like rate limiting implemented by this algorithm is very accurate. In any rolling window, request will not exceed the rate limit, okay. This is a pros. What is cons? The algorithm consumes a lot of memory, because even if request is rejected, its time might be stored in the memory, as I told in previous slide, okay. So this is about the rate limiting algorithms and the techniques which we can we use for the implementing rate limit. Whichever you like, you can implement those, and that's it. Thank you for watching this video till end, and if you like these types of system related videos, I am trying to put that on my YouTube channel. So if you like this video, please like this video and subscribe my channel for further system related videos. Thank you and happy coding.